Hi everyone, this is Andrew. I hope you're having a great day and I hope you're ready for another podcast. So today I'm going to speak to you about something that is not classic American lifestyle, but it is very important to being in America, and that is life in New York City. Now, New York City is very different than most of America for a number of reasons. Now, the first one that comes to my mind is there is no elbow room. Now, this is your elbow, and elbow room means you could do this and not bump into anyone. When I was in Kentucky, that was expected to have elbow room. In New York City, you do not. Everyone is this close, if not this close to you. And you get used to having no personal space. And that is just part of life in New York City. You get used to it. Now, another thing about New York that is very important and makes it such an important part of America is it is a melting pot. Now, a melting pot comes from the real thing. A melting pot is like for soup, where you put many different things and melt them together, and it all becomes one thing, and it works together. Now, New York is like that, but with cultures and people instead of food. Like, there is places like the Italian Village right next to Chinatown, and they operate together. It is all part of the same city. It is like parts of the body. Like, my hand is very different from my foot, but it operates as part of my body. I need both. And this is something about New York. It is also very often referred to as a living thing. Now, that might be a very strange way to speak about a city, but this is actually very common for New York. We have a number of ways to talk about it. We also say it is the city that never sleeps, like a person. Because now, people will work all day and then sleep at night, and that is the same with most cities. Like where I'm from in Kentucky, we were asleep by 10 o'clock, no later, and no one worked on the weekends. But in New York City, people are working 24/7. Now, when you hear people say 24/7, they mean 24 hours a day, so all day, 7 days a week, all week. It is always running, always moving, always doing business, and it is very fast-paced. Now, that is a good way to speak about different things, like the pace that it moves at. When I was in Kentucky, it was a very slow and leisurely pace. New York was very fast-paced. And you will notice when people speak, they talk faster in New York than in anywhere else in the country. Now, another thing about New York that is so important is it is one of the most famous cities. Like, that is where the Statue of Liberty was given to America when we became a nation. And many people, when they come to this country, that is the first place they go. When I was there in 2008, I became good friends with someone who was a fashion designer from Australia. You meet people from around the world in one place. It is a very interesting part about New York that you will not find in many other places in America at that level or that quantity of people from around the world. So there are many things that make New York such a great city. Now, it also is busy and crowded and has a lot of pollution from all of the cars and factories. But this is just part of life in New York. And it is something you get used to. And you can even drive out of the city if you need a break from the traffic and the crowdedness of the city. So I definitely recommend visiting New York when you come to America. It is a very unique part of America, and it is very important to being an American to know what New York City is like. So I hope you all enjoyed the podcast, and I hope you enjoy learning about New York City soon.